Hey everyone, it's Argonaut here from The Right Way, and another pathetic story about a pathetic sentence handed out to another rapist in New Zealand. This one's a bit older. This was published on August the 4th, but I came across it a few days ago when I was doing some research on my previous video of the 16-year-old rapist who got a sentence of home detention. So in case you're interested, let's have a read of this and just see how deranged our justice system is because of the Labour government's soft on crime policy that they have. So Corrections Department does a U-turn after allowing teenage rapist to attend university full of females. The Department of Corrections allowed a convicted rapist to attend university despite him serving a sentence of home detention. Again, another instance of someone who was a rapist getting a sentence of home detention when they should be chucked in jail. I don't give a stuff if they turn into a bad person because of jail. They need to have some punishment. Home detention is not punishment. But only a week later, following calls from a survivor advocate and inquiries from staff, the department did a U-turn and withdrew permission. That's only when it gets out into the public and people start to learn about the kind of idiotic stuff that's going on, do these government departments actually do anything. The 19-year-old who had interim name suppression admitted charges of rape, unlawful sexual connection with a child, not a woman, not a grown woman, with a child, indecent assault and sexual conduct with a child relating to 6 young women, most of whom he met at his Auckland high school. So young women, so maybe they were kind of at the high school area, but still a child, right? We don't class anyone as adults till they turn 18. Generally, that's the rule of thumb. He was sentenced at Auckland's District Court to 12 months home detention to be served at his parents' home. So obviously he's going to be looked after by his parents. He'll be able to watch TV, watch movies, play computer games, play his PlayStation, Xbox, talk to his friends on the internet, have his friends over, have a party, can do all of that kind of stuff, right? But after serving just a quarter of his sentence, Corrections decided to allow him to go to lectures and tutorials at the University of Auckland 4 days a week. So he can get out 4 days a week. Not much of a home detention, is it? I mean, who on these parole boards are making these decisions? They have absolutely no common sense at all. Absolutely ridiculous. He was also allowed to spend hours in the library. In a written statement, Corrections Deputy Northern Manager Ali Ray said the department reversed the decision after receiving information from a survivor advocate about where the survivors lived. No, they're not doing it because where the survivors lived. They're doing it because the news was made public and they're getting a public backlash because they made an idiotic decision that no one in their right mind would even make. It's all about the bloody criminals in New Zealand. It's not ever about the victims, right? One of those survivors is Mia Edmonds. She said Corrections' decision to allow her attacker to attend university was like letting an alcoholic loose in a bottle shop. Speaking before Corrections reversed its decision, Edmonds said the department had failed to consider the safety of young women at the university who would be sharing classes and the library with the rapist without knowing what he had done. As one of the victims, I am terrified that this man who has absolutely derailed the lives of so many innocent young women is going to once again be allowed to walk unsupervised around unsuspecting women and girls. It's just ridiculous. Ray said the teenager had been allowed to attend university while he was on bail. She said permission was granted on the basis that he travelled directly to and from university. He would also have been electronically monitored. Documents seen by staff show probation staff cited psychological reports on file from the teenager sentencing that showed his rehabilitation would benefit from structure. That's ridiculous. Benefit from structure, being put in a university or library full of females. Probably not the best structure you can have. A report from a manager said Corrections would also be able to continue to monitor him while he was subject to a sentence. What are they going to monitor? He's at the university, he's in the library. Are they actually going to be monitoring? Do they have a little camera to show what he's actually doing at that point in time? The teenager is seeing a psychologist and is enrolled in a sex offenders program. He has yet to complete either treatment, and the documents do not show any evidence of corrections consulting either on the risk he would pose to other students. Again, stupid government departments making stupid decisions without the full facts of what's going on. There was no consultation with survivors. Obviously, there never is, because it's always about the criminal. It's never about the victim. Staff understands that no survivor details were recorded in the victim notification register. But survivor advocate Ruth Money said that's not good enough. Money, who has been assisting the young woman through the court proceedings, says 3 of the survivors have taken the unusual step and waived their statutory name suppression. There's been no proactive research or due diligence into the survivors' whereabouts or inquiries of their opinions as to the safety of the decision. There is nothing to suggest that the University of Auckland had been alerted or consulted, so the university didn't even know about this, apparently. Staff asked corrections if the university had been consulted. Ray did not answer the question. Of course, because they know that they haven't, because they're going to look like idiots. A spokeswoman for the university said they were unable to answer the question. She said the university is concerned and investigating the matter. The health and safety and welfare of our students and staff is always our absolute priority, the university spokeswoman said. A corrections report seen by staff says corrections would have reviewed the decision had the teenager lost name suppression. Should name suppression be lifted, the university and the community may question this decision, and we are prepared to withdraw. So only if his name was kept secret, they'd happy to go along with it because no one would know. But as soon as name suppression is lifted and everyone would know, oh, we're going to withdraw this approval now. What idiotic stuff is going on in New Zealand? Judge Claire Ryan declined the teenager's bid for name suppression at a sentencing in April. His appeal at the High Court is due to be heard on Tuesday. Court documents released this hour show the teenager approached girls and young women, often at parties when they had been drinking. He was isolating at home in a bedroom. He isolated some in a bedroom before abusing them. He sexually assaulted others in front of friends, only stopped when others intervened. In sentencing the teenager to home detention, the judge told him he would be receiving a report on his progress every 3 months. Oh, such a good judge, aren't you? Getting a report on his progress every 3 months. Well done, Judge. Clap, 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 clap. You should have bloody sent him to jail. This effer needs to go to jail. I expect a good report because you've been given a lucky break here. The Crown asked me to imprison you. I have not imprisoned you because I do not want to see you back here again as an older offender, much more skilled in the ways of... Oh, what the hell? He's not going to learn anything because you haven't done anything to him. These liberal judges are just crap. Speaking to staff before correction reversed its decision, Money said allowing the teenager to attend university amounted to another lucky break. He was at university for 4 days out of 5, so when does he go to the psychologist? When does he actually serve a sentence? When is there any punishment? Exactly, if 4 out of 5 days he's going to university, he's not doing any form of punishment, is he? What, there's 3 days in the week where he's just at home? When does he go to see a psychologist? Ridiculous. She says correction should have waited until the name suppression appeal was heard. It's absolutely nonsensical. You're putting a convicted rapist into classes, tutorials, and a library full of potential victims, and no one's got any idea who he is. The teenager's lawyer, Emma Priest, said her client takes full No, he doesn't take full responsibility. If he did, why is he still trying to get name suppression then? It's important that everyone remembers that the legislated principles and purpose of sentencing are not only to punishment but to reintegration. No, it should be punishment first, everything else second and third, right? And to impose the least restrictive sentence. This is the thing. In the Labour government, they said to impose the least restrictive sentence that is appropriate. And so by doing that, the Labour government is telling the judges and prosecutors not to put them in jail. She says that is especially important with teenagers and young people who have better chance of rehabilitation. That is absolutely ridiculous. Who knows if he's going to be rehabilitated or not? There's no guarantee that he's going to be rehabilitated by not giving him any punishments at all, right? Home detention is not punishment, even if you don't get to go to university, right? Anyone can do home detention pretty straightforwardly. You can just lie around at home, sleep in, watch TV, watch movies, play computer games, all that kind of stuff. Talk to your friends on the phone, have your friends over, have parties, ordering food. Doesn't sound like much of a punishment to me. Anyway, let me know what you think. Another example of sexual violence and rapists getting away with it in New Zealand because of this Labour government. I mean, Jacinda Ardern, the Labour government leader and the Prime Minister of New Zealand, she comes across as being so empathetic with everyone, and her policies are ruining people's lives. Right? There's no justice for these victims. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I really want to read what you think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe as well. Anyway, hopefully I will catch you in the next video.